If you're watching this, it means I posted my first YouTube video. So welcome to my June wrap-up. I read 11 books in June and I had to add a little extender to my journal because I didn't expect to read that much in 1 month. The first book I read is Court of Lions. This is the second book in a duology and Mirage is the first book. I really liked this one. I liked it even more than the first one. It's a sci-fi fantasy world inspired by Moroccan culture where our main character is kidnapped and forced to act as a body double for the princess because her life is in danger. And when she goes there, she finds out that she's an exact mirror of the princess. There's not a lot of world building. I would have loved for the author to have expanded on that since it's a sci-fi world and I feel like she thought of everything but just did not deliver in the end. It's still a 5-star read for me because I really enjoyed it. It's also YA, so I did not expect that much more. Also, look at the covers. They're absolutely gorgeous. This series is not that popular, so I could not find reviews about this a lot, and I could not connect with readers that have read this series because of that, and that makes me sad. So pick the series up so we can talk about this, please. The second book I read was When Women Were Dragons. It's a feminist fiction, and the first half of this book was really slow. It was still interesting, and the writing was really good. I was like annotating every other page. Like, I annotated this book so much and I have to find the pages because like I wrote in every single page and this is the least I've written in the book. I wrote so much and I annotated so much of this book. So the first half of this book was really slow. You follow our main character from when she was really young, and in 1955 a mass dragoning happened where a lot of women turned into dragons and disappeared. Their houses were found burnt, their husbands eaten or burnt or just missing. So society pretended like that never existed, and they tried to hide it throughout history and whatever, and then women started dragoning even more later on. Spoilers! I'm gonna start spoiling this book because the second half of this book completely lost the plot. Completely lost the plot, and I don't know where we went after that. I don't know what was happening. The dragons came back. The woman, the dragon, came back in dragon form, holding handbags and applying lipstick. They also took up positions in society that were traditionally deemed for women. So these women that were not accepted in society in the first place came back to take up the same roles they had. Also, the society still didn't accept them, and they had to act kind and help out people that were still rejecting them just so they could be accepted back in a society that rejected them in the first place. Why? Anyways, also, the characters were also very black and white. They were either good or bad and no in between. There was no complex characters. I forgot so many of the things I had to say about this book. Let me recheck my notes because I remember raging about this book because of how bad it is. And I can't take out my notes. My review of this book is 4 pages long. Yeah, so the anger in the first half of this book and the female rage completely disappeared. Some have said that the intention of them leaving might have been them reclaiming space in a society that rejected them in the first place. It felt so contradictory when they had to act nice and kind to people that were still rejecting them just so they could be accepted back in this society. This also had little to no representation. There was mention of dragonings happening outside of America, but it was never explored. Also, there was this plot of knots where men created them to stop women from dragoning, and our main character had these knots all over her clothes because they were her mother's. And maybe that's why she never dragoned, even though she had so much rage and the need to dragon inside of her, but that was also never explored. This had so much potential, but I don't know what happened. The third book I read was Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I've been reading this book for almost a year, and I finally finished it. I did enjoy some aspects of the book. It felt very motivational. I wasn't completely hooked throughout the whole book. It's also a biography, so that's why. I don't have much to say about this book. If you're interested in his story, then definitely read the book. If you're not, then it's not for you. And then I read Leather and Lark. This is a dark romance. It follows 2 serial killers, and I absolutely ate this up. This was amazing. The first book is Butcher and Blackbird. I enjoyed the book, but not that much. It felt like there was no logic behind the whole thing. And even though I understand it's a dark comedy, I need to understand why they were never caught. In this book, it's kind of explained. and the characters are amazing. This is a marriage of convenience because they had to protect their loved ones, and no one could know that this was a marriage of convenience, although they did technically know. I think I just love this trope in general, and it was done so well in this book. And our main character, even though he's like a very cold serial killer who has tattoos to hide his scars, he was still blushing when she talked to him or getting nervous. And that's just... And then I read this book. This is the third book in the series. I was so bored. I was so bored, and I did not ship them at all. I did not feel the chemistry or the tension. I was even listening to the audiobook of this book because I could not read it physically because of how bored I was, and I kept speeding it up for something to happen. I literally had it on ×3 and nothing happened, so I was just really bored and I just wanted to be done with this book. Then I read a series that completely took over my life, and I've been obsessed ever since, and it's the Natural series. I did not shut up about the series even after I finished it, and I'm still recommending it to all my friends and family, and you all should read it as well if you haven't. This book is just amazing. The Naturals follows gifted teens that were recruited by the FBI to help them solve cases. There's a subplot of romance, and the mystery element is amazing, and the last book is very traumatizing. Should you check trigger warnings? Yes, maybe, but it's such a good series. You'll never be bored. It goes by so fast. I literally didn't want to finish the series, but I just couldn't stop reading, so it's done now. I also had finals while I was reading this series, and I thought I would keep it until like I finished exams to read it, and I did not. I could not wait. So I read the series, and now it's done, and I'm sad about it. So go read the series. The last book I read was Caught Up, and I don't recommend this at all. I absolutely hated it. This is an awful book. I read Lights Out, which is the first book, and I adored that book, and I'm still recommending it, even though it's a dark romance and it's not everyone's thing. This book, however, it was supposed to be a dark romance, but there was nothing dark about this book. Nothing dark about this book. This whole book was just spice. And I mean every single chapter, and no plot at all. Every other chapter was the characters doing it, or watching other characters do it, or them being watched by other characters do it. This book follows our main character, and she has an OnlyFans. She tries to normalize this by positioning it as empowering women, but she also tries to normalize and sympathize with the men that are subscribing to OnlyFans. She describes them as sad men who just need a little kindness in their day and in their life, and she wants to help them so bad. In real life, these men would be creepy men, married, twice her age, and probably have kids her age. So why are we normalizing this disgusting behavior? Our male main character deserved so much more, and he was actually the only interesting thing about the book. I feel like I didn't yap in this video as much as I thought I would. So I'm Tala. I'm mainly active on Bookstagram, and these are all the books I read this month. And if you've read any of these, please let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed them or not.